Podcast for the curious mind. I don't know what that means.
Broadcasting live from a German-made microphone high atop Sioux Nation. I am Jamal, and guys, I just, that we got a fourth here today, and I just wanted to, take a moment because we've got back on the show, Devin Black. How's it going, buddy?
What's up, fucker?
Miss all the ones where
child rapist.
I have to struggle through some of the worst content of my life. And where's Devin? Not to be found. That's where he is. You hurt me.
Oh, dude, my life has been fucking so crazy.
It was a awful 6.5 hours worth of material. So I'm like, you know what? I think we're done with it for a while. I just got to take a break because after
so
3
much.
weeks, it's so much.
And I feel like it'll depress the fuck out of you. Like, really? Like, you're like, fuck, this is going on. What do we do? It's just like with the government. It's like, it's so big. One dude just can't do it. You know what I mean? You really got to come together.
Yes. And that's that was sort of the whole point of the whole Franklin cover-up, because that's what happened is there was individuals that came together, and even though there wasn't, Tim Tate thought my take on it was too positive, but I think there is a lot of positivity to be found in how the world's changed. But anyway, can't do that anymore for at least a couple of weeks. How you doing, Clemens?
I'm doing good. Good. How are you?
May, I'm surprised you're here. You worked all night, and yet here you are. Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey.
My pet seamen are in the bedroom watching a TV show. So,
what are the kids watching these days?
let's see how long that it keeps me entertained. I don't know. Some stupid cartoon koala escape from a zoo movie.
Oh, it's a movie?
So, yeah, they're 2 and 4, so they're pretty easy to entertain. You just got to put on some cartoon like BS.
Dinosaur Train?
Yeah.
Well, we've had a lot going on. I know, Devin, you've been making trips to Iowa. How's the what's the record of what's the college out there that you're
Cornell.
Yes.
Cornell College Rams.
How are they doing?
They are 3-2.
Ooh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad at all.
I guess it's the first time they've had a winning record in over a decade, so that's good.
Dang.
Even better.
Yeah, they're
Even
doing good.
better.
Are you getting any swag? Are you dressed head and toe in what'd you call
I
them?
actually have a pretty nice shirt. I have a really nice Cornell Ram shirt, wife.
Cornell Rams.
Yeah, his girlfriend actually flew out there yesterday or this weekend, so she was there.
Is he getting playing time?
Yeah.
Really?
She was, yeah, like not this last week. Yesterday's game, it was kind of a weird game because it's very pass heavy. So I told him, I was like, linebackers don't tend to get lots of tackles if they're fucking slinging it all over the place. You know what I mean?
Right.
But the game before that, he tied for team lead. I mean, he had 10 tackles.
Dang!
8 solo.
Nice.
Start sending that footage over to the University of Iowa.
Good shit.
Yeah. We have some friends that actually know the coaches for UNI. So I was like, that'd be cool too.
Oh, I had a friend that lived a block away from the UNI Dome.
Yeah.
Yep, out there.
So, and then Mike's
Yeah, they're
team,
usually a perennial power.
Yep. And then Michael's team is they're 500 right now. I think they're 3-3.
Well, that was
Where'd Michael go?
Mike's still
Where's-
playing high school.
High school,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Is this his last year of high school?
Yep, he's gonna go to Fort Lewis and play
For Fossil, who's he playing?
for
who's he
Rocky
play with?
Mountain, bro.
Rocky Mountain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rocky Mountain.
Have you? Okay, we got some news stories going on, and with election time coming around, we've needed Devin's hot libertarian take for a minute. I see you couldn't resist posting something on Facebook last week.
What I do?
It's like if you, I was something like you expected
Oh.
that government. I can't remember. It was typical libertarian dribble.
The state can't give you
Yeah.
give you nothing because they produce nothing.
I think you all caps.
That is true.
You all
Huh?
caps. You all caps on the nothing. if I
Oh
remember
yeah,
correctly. Yeah.
Because if
absolutely.
you're getting something from the state, it's not the state actually giving you. They're taking it from somebody else.
Yeah.
You.
Yeah.
Well, that what
Middle person, the avenue.
what'd you say, Clemens?
They're just the middle person, if you will. Like
Yeah.
you're right. They're getting it most likely from the government, and then turning it around and giving it to you. They're just giving you an avenue on how to get those resources.
Yeah, and if they're using printed money to do it, they're just stealing prosperity from the future. So they're still stealing it for something.
Hey, it looks the same.
It's that whole chain, that circle where they take it out of one person's pocket, put it in their pocket, put it in their pocket. It all started with this part. It's just, you know what I mean? It's recycled BS.
Have you ever seen that Three Stooges skit where he pulls out his pocket, he's got a $10 bill, and then Larry goes, "Hey, don't you owe me $10?" He's like, "Oh yeah, here you go." And then Moe's like, "Hey, don't you owe me 10?" He's like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "Hey, remember that 10 I lent you before?" Yeah, and they pass that same 10 around two times, and then they're all paid back. It's like, what? How did that work? You know what I mean? Like, it's very interesting. I get all mad when I go to the store now because I get mad when I go to the store and see how much shit costs now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So like when 2020 was happening, I was, I'm not a bit of a prepper, a little bit. And so I'm like, inflation is going to be crazy with how much money they printed to cover for everybody to stay home. So I was buying butter and like crazy shit that would last a while. I just throw it in the freezer. And I was buying like a block of butter for like $7, right? At the store right now, that same block is like freaking $15.
Yeah.
It's like double price. The
butter
Stouffer's
in Colorado?
Yeah, Stouffer's lasagna, right? Was like fucking $7 for like a family size pan. That shit's like $15.50 now.
Yeah.
It's like everything's double, and they're like, "Oh, inflation's style." I'm like, bro, like food like doubled or tripled, and my paycheck didn't double or triple. I'll tell you that.
And that's the thing too, is they're doing this, not talking about not anything, and then you realize, like, once you kind of fucking, man, this is the third time I've been to the grocery store, and I usually have to go once or twice because everything's so fucking expensive. And then because I went the other day, I just wanted to make some queso, have some chips, like eat some football food, and it cost me $115 for under
a day's worth of shit.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I was like, "What, Tennessee? What?
That's a lot for Tennessee.
Where my stamps at? Where my stamps at?"
Yeah, if you got a fucking thing on a whim, you're paying. I told my wife, I was like, "Fuck, we almost have to go to the store and see what's on sale to make the damn menu."
Yeah.
I saw some pork chops for like $10. I was like, eat like 6 of them, like thick bitches. I'm like, well, that's not on the menu, but it's going on the menu,
Well, and they talk about, how long it would take for a city to run out of supplies. I think it's 4 days to a week.
Oh, yeah.
For their freezers to be emptied. So, I mean, like, as far as not only do you have inflation, but then, you're having some serious problems within the industry, getting people to work. They just said how many Venezuelans did they bring in? I think it was like 500,000 that they gave work permits to.
Oh, dang.
And there's been over 2.5 million over the last 6 months that have crossed the border, all working age.
Yeah, the place sucks. We're gonna hand me fucking.
Well, and they said, that's what I wanted to ask Devin. They said Aurora is getting flooded with illegal immigrants from Texas because I guess Colorado is a sanctuary state.
Is it?
I think so.
Unfortunate
so
there.
That's what I was going to ask. Have you seen it down in Fort Collins, the trickle down? Because they said Denver, Aurora, all that area is it's getting fucking out of hand.
Well,
like
they're staying down there.
Going downtown.
Oh, really? Like, it's not that bad up here on the north side. Like, I really haven't noticed it.
Really?
I would assume. I talked to Rich a couple days ago, and he's from Long Island, and he's talking to his friends that are on the lower east side, Manhattan and Brooklyn, that area, and they're saying they're getting swamped. But a lot of these are, would be in the restaurant industries are hiring them, and then construction industries are hiring them, and so on
Well,
and
the
so
two
forth.
biggest industries that took a hit during COVID, I took the kids out to Chili's the other night, and the whole place was wide the fuck open, and they were like, "Oh, it's going to be 45 minutes to an hour," and I said, there, "There's seats in here for days.
Yeah.
Give me a menu, and I'll go put the order in." Like, what
Yeah.
the fuck? And then they took us back to the family section. And of course, like when I take the kids out just by myself, I like to be isolated because they're shit stirs. And it's just, I don't want someone under their breath to be like, my dinner's ruined because I'm going to get up with a dull butter knife and we're going to have issues. Like, like calm down. But yeah, and she was like, yeah, we're so understaffed. We're blah, blah, blah. And it showed big time. Like the restaurant industry, they still can't hire construction. That's always been a thing, but that's just pretty wild.
You talk about inflation of the dollar, but also inflation of the workforce by doing this. You're creating a drop in price for trades and for restaurant staff, so that people that need to actually make a living aren't going to be able to do it in any of those factions. So you create an inflation gap there too by artificially lowering the workforce price.
That's the story as old as America, right? Like immigration and all that stuff. Like when the Irish were coming over in waves, everybody was pissed off because they would do things for a nickel that would normally pay to 25 cents or whatever. Same thing with African Americans when they would do things cheaper. So there's just this racial hate, and it's almost because of just really not their race, but the fact that they're coming in and taking up the jobs and creating poverty amongst other people who aren't used to it. Have you seen those videos of like the border agents when they're catching all these people cross the border illegally, and there's like no women? It's all like
it's men.
It's all like freaking like 20 to 35-year-old 40-year-old dudes. There's like no women or children in there. It's all
It scares me to death on Twitter how the common thing they talk about is how a lot of these men that are coming, they look like military aged, like developed, human beings, not just your normal run of the mill that don't know a word of English. They were saying that they capture, or they didn't cap, they contained 10 dudes, and every single one of them was not your run of the mill, I'm running from, danger. They looked like, well designed, well prepared soldiers, but they couldn't verify if they were soldiers or not, because obviously the people just acted, they played dumb. But the vibes that people were giving off or were getting from these immigrants, we could be in for a rude awakening.
I bet the majority of them are legit, because if I didn't live in the United States, I'd work really hard to get here. You know what I'm saying? If I got to come by myself, earn a bunch of money doing whatever, to get my family over illegally, then that's what I do.
Yeah.
You guys got to sort of pick your brain here, because it's interesting. It's Venezuelan men. You remember in 2018, 2019, we tried to run a coup in Venezuela and elect our own president in there and try to get Maduro kicked out. Do you guys remember hearing about any of this? It was in the State of the Union address where in 2019, Trump is talking about, I forget who they had.
Was it Chavez?
I think it was Chavez that had won. They said had won the election, and Maduro needed to step down, but they had pretty much rigged the election. The United States had. They used the Dominion voting machines down there.
Oh fuck!
And so, and the coup didn't work. So, like, that guy never actually took office, and Maduro stayed in power. And so, I think there might be some sort of deal we made where we, that we gave the people that were going to take the heavy quotes democracy of the president we had elected, If that fell, we would provide them refuge here in the U.S. And the only reason I believe that because there has been like 2.5 million people that have crossed the border, but we only gave work permits to 500,000 Venezuelans.
Well, they say like the majority of people here legally are just because the system is broken, right? Bureaucracy. Like they actually may even get a work visa and then it expires and now they're here illegally, but they don't leave because it takes them so long to like get anything processed. I just believe that Venezuela is just so poor from their hyperinflation that fuckers are. See you later, mom and dad. I'm out. You know what I mean?
But there's no reason why Biden would specifically sign a piece of legislation that would give just exclusively the Venezuelans a work permit, where the other people are just here illegally and working illegally.
I don't think it matters.
It's just something to keep your eye on. Failed coups again in the U.S. You as a libertarian, that should anger you because that's really what the cause of this is we tried to run a coup in Venezuela. It failed, and now here are the repercussions causing its own inflation. And if we
I
were,
I have no problem with immigration.
You have no problem with illegal immigration or immigration?
Just immigration. And illegal immigration is, you're walking on like a fucking knife's edge because there's not much difference between the two.
What do you mean?
Like they don't have a fucking Ellis Island on the border down there. That's, you know what I mean? Like you're weak, you're tired and all that stuff. That's what makes America so kind of, great in a way. We are a big melting pot because of the immigration. It's a fucking country of immigrants. Really?
So you think that there should just be open borders? Like long as you come here and like register, like you just sign a piece of paper saying, "Hey, I'm so."
Yeah. Go down there. Have some border security. Don't get me wrong, but if you want to come here, we got a spot where you need to go to first. Fill out some documentation and shit. We're gonna check you out health wise, just like they did at Ellis Island. You guys ever been there?
I've never been to Ellis Island. No, but I know
it's fucking huge. Like huge. You can see how many people they probably processed a day of that bitch. And it's a beautiful building. Great architecture.
One thing I'm surprised on is in a country that puts a price on everything, why wouldn't they put a price on that? Citizenship.
You want to be a citizen?
It's super expensive. You know what I mean? Like it's super expensive to become a U.S. citizen.
The guy I work with actually just became a citizen. His name's Brian. He's from, I can't remember what part of Mexico, but he actually legit became a citizen. I was like, good for you, bud. Speaks not the greatest English, but he's not very experienced in anything. So like we go.
His name is Brian?
Yeah.
What'd that cost him?
No, he spells it weird. It's Rayyan. He's got a wife and kid and everything. So we go to this Mexican restaurant with Emmett because Emmett's like, "Hey, we'll fucking help buy some guys lunch. Where you guys want to go?" So we go to this Chinese restaurant, and Brian has never eaten Chinese. He doesn't know what to order, so he just kind of goes with Emmett because Emmett likes hot and sour soup because he thinks it's going to be spicy because he likes spicy food. So he gets the hot and sour. And when that fucking I hate hot and sour soup. It's not really my favorite. But that shit comes out, he's like fucking like touching it and shit. He's like, "What is this?" I'm like, "It's a soup, but it's not really hot. It's like, I don't know. I don't like it personally. You know what I mean?" But he ended up just getting fried rice. But it was fucking funny because he just very like stays at home, eats food from home. Like we went out to breakfast the other day. I got chicken fried steak and eggs like I do. He's like, "Is that good?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "I'm gonna get what he had." And he's like, "Oh my god, this is the best." I'm like, "Have you never had chicken fried steak?" He goes, "No." I'm like, "That's even the frozen shit. You should have a real one." It was awesome though. But people like that,
Are you
have
still
no
asking
problem.
that question every time you go out?
Yeah. Like now
Kevin?
I love it.
Is that your go-to?
He's my son.
Is it frozen or is it homemade?
Oh yeah, I always do that. Sometimes if they do the frozen right, it can be good. But the
every
homemade,
time
you can't
we
beat
go
it.
out to eat with Devin, and chicken fried steak was on the menu, it'd be, is it frozen or is it homemade? Is it real?
Yeah.
And
like
they're
Gordon Ramsay.
It's frozen. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, then I am not having that. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
But back to immigration. Like, I have no problem with it. Citizenship is expensive, but you're right. If they actually would do, like, if they lower the fee, you might be able to get rid of our national debt and just, you know what I mean? $100.
Honestly, like, yeah, like, yeah. There's got to be something. We're always getting fees. I gotta pay a fee to get my license as an electrician. You got to get a fee to get your license. You know, everyone's got to get a little handout in order to get, registered by the state or by your city. And
yeah, but see, like, jobs like that require background checks or, licensing and feeing. Those jobs probably are not going to be that affected by the immigration. It's the jobs that you were talking about, restaurant jobs, like in the back, undercutting everybody. Those are the jobs.
People that'll show up to work.
Throwing shingles.
Yeah, construction, roofing, all that stuff. Those jobs will be affected, but
I mean, we're in such a house crisis. If this thing keeps going, it's gonna be fucking. We're gonna be on top of each other.
That's the worst part is we have a housing.
We already are, anyways, but
we're letting in more people than they can even build houses.
Letting all these people in.
Yeah, so gotta do something.
I've got a question of the week for you guys. Here's a scenario brought to you by the wonderful website Audi. Dying woman asks husband to sleep with her ex one last time.
Oh, I saw this. Yeah.
So this one. So this woman found out that she was going to be dead within 9 months, wheelchair bound by the 7th month, and so she asked her husband with one very specific wish, and it was the best sex she'd ever had. So she was curious if she could sleep with her with her ex.
I'll kick. See you later. I'm out. Really? This is your last wish?
Yeah, go ahead and die right now. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll fill out your last wish.
How do you take it as a man too? Your dick. Yeah.
Yeah, choke on
my
dick.
Your dick's not good, and she wants to go with somebody else.
That's messed up. Like, really? Oh, so
assuming that he isn't with anybody,
he's just got to live with that.
So that's the most important thing to you, huh? Yeah. Get the fuck out.
Assuming that he's not with anybody and not taking like her feelings into consideration either. Like if he is like her ex, like if he's with anybody.
Oh yeah. The guy, if he's got to be a willing participant, I'd be like, you do that.
I'm a guy who wouldn't be a willing participant.
Yeah, I'm dropping $10,000 on hookers and blows. Well, that night you go out, like we're gonna have a party. You're gonna come back here. It's gonna be an orgy. You're gonna look like fucking Eyes Wide Shut in this bitch. Everybody's wearing a mask and just butt naked. You might not want to sleep in your bed. It's pretty soggy, like that. Payback.
Speaking of,
guess you shouldn't.
You know that wheelchair we bought?
You should have just stayed here.
Yeah, don't sit in that thing. Yeah. Don't sit in that.
This has elicited some interesting responses. So I'm taking this as full consensus. Tell your wife to go fuck yourself.
This is what we're doing. We're burning down our relationship. Okay, then. I'm gonna one up you.
Speaking of being one up, have you guys seen the latest pictures of Madonna?
Oh, has she changed even worse? Is he frozen?
There's a picture of her right
there.
No
pun intended, right?
For you guys.
Oh yeah.
You can see that.
Well, to be fair to her, she doesn't have her fake face. I mean, she does have a fake face on right now, but she doesn't have the paint on the fake face. Who would ever thought that fucking all the way May or whatever would end up looking like this?
It's pretty rough.
She played that chick in League of Their Own.
Pretty rough.
Yeah, she looks like she got stung by a bee multiple times.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Yeah, a little bit. All right.
Isn't she like 60
Sort of
something?
a light show.
Yeah, she doesn't look 60.
No, she's like 60 something for sure.
Yeah.
Google
She's almost
time.
70, isn't she? Yep.
Is she that
Yep,
old?
pop it up here. I thought she's
I don't
almost
even-
70.
65.
65, that's how old she is?
65.
Yeah. She looked fabulous when she was 50. But,
Just a little
you
too
know,
much.
It's
You gotta
okay to
call it
age.
quits.
It's okay to age gracefully. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Bob Barker aged gracefully. He
Right.
looked the same
Rest
for
in
like the
peace.
last 20 years.
That was so crazy when someone came out. I was like, he was as close to 100 without going over. You know,
Yes.
99.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, God damn it.
Poor Bob Barker.
Legend.
Have you guys yeah. I don't know. I think we should keep it light today. You know, we got Devin.
Oh,
back.
you got something heavy, huh?
I do
some
have
more?
some heavy stuff. Yeah, I do. God damn it.
You can't help it.
Well, you know, it's just like you open up one wormhole and then, you know, everything starts, you know, filtering through that. Did you guys hear about the let's go the Pentagon dog ring? Did you guys hear about that? They had a illegal dog fighting ring.
Really?
Like
Who started it?
like worse than Michael Vick's by a mile.
Drowning dogs in the swimming pool?
Electrocuting them is what they did.
Oh, Dad.
Yeah. Let me see if I could yeah, here we go. Pentagon official charged for a dog fighting ring. Let's see if I can share this here and present it. It's a little glitchy.
It's not
today.
just Michael Vick, huh?
No. Of course we got ads. So no, it's like it was supposedly several people in the Pentagon were involved in this dog riding, but you gotta hear the name of it and all that stuff. Here we go. Let me see here.
Disturbing story out of Anne Arundel County. A Pentagon official has been charged in connection with an illegal dog fighting ring in Maryland. Frederick Moorfield, who worked in the Secretary of Defense's office, has been named in a federal criminal complaint. Our Lily Zing is live in Arnold with that story. Lily.
Well, Kenneth, this is one of the neighborhoods that investigators executed search warrants.
Lily Zing.
She sounds
of,
like a
Family
fucking
Guy.
white lady. Like if you close your eyes, you would have pictured a fucking like blonde-headed white lady. You know what I'm saying?
Not the case.
And Moorfield's neighbors say they don't know him
Definitely a spy.
well, but certainly the activity that was at his house a few weeks ago, it definitely caught their attention.
We don't want to see anyone get hurt. Come out now. Put your hands up.
A neighbor shared that video with Fox 5 that was taken last month before 12 dogs were recovered from Moorfield and Flipes homes. The complaint says they used an encrypted messaging application to communicate with other people throughout the country to discuss dog fighting. According to the complaint, law enforcement also collected vet steroids, training schedules, and carpet that appeared to be stained with blood. A device believed to be used to execute dogs that lost dog fights was also collected. Groups fighting against animal cruelty say animal fighting is running rampant. One group leader says he's been involved with advocacy for several years, including the 2007 case with former NFL quarterback Michael Vick.
The Vick case was so startling because people wondered why an NFL quarterback, the highest paid player in the NFL.
How is that fair to Michael Vick? You know, I mean, we get it, you know, but this story has nothing to do with Michael Vick. I mean, it's more interesting that it was a Pentagon official that did it.
Have you ever seen? Do you guys know the whole story about Michael Vick? Like,
no.
It was more his fucking friends and his fucking entourage who were doing it, not so much Vick.
Oh, really?
They were like using his house and compound, and they were pretty much running it. Yes, it was like he was helping with his money and stuff like that. But when it came to like the day-to-day operations and all that shit, it was his fucking buddies. And he got lumped in because he's the fucking, I mean, he was a part of it, but he wasn't like the You know what I mean? He wasn't the one holding the dogs under the water and fucking drowning them.
The Department of Justice said the Moorfield called this operation Jihad Kennels.
Wow.
So that was the
Wow.
name of the dog fighting ring.
Did you know in China they have a Chinese cricket fighting? They have a cricket fighting tournaments and shit.
What?
They have crickets. They have the fighting crickets. They put up against each other and then fucking gamble on it and everything.
Man, they will gamble.
Google it. Yeah. Chinese cricket fighting.
Looking it up right now. They have had.
Here's one for NPR from 2021. Inside the jaw-clenching world of cricket fighting in China.
Read it to me.
I don't remember where I saw this. I just was like, I got intrigued one day and went down a rabbit hole. I was on location logging or something.
That's here. I found a clip. I'll share it here. Give me a second.
It's a popular pastime in China and dates back more than 1,000 years.
The window shades are drawn. The air is filled with cigarette smoke and tension.
Tang Dynasty. Goes back to the Tang Dynasty. You got all these little cages. Where's PETA?
Did you know crickets actually taste like nutty chicken?
Nutty chicken?
Yeah, that's what they say a cricket tastes like. Is like chicken, but like nutty.
Well, there you go. There's your phantom fact of the day.
Yeah, you be a cricket fighter and no one's gonna care. Maybe that's a fighting ring all these dog owners should get into.
Should I you guys got anything else you want to talk about today? I mean, it's a nice Sunday. Got the gang all back.
How about them CU Buffs, huh?
Yes.
I don't really care. I don't really care. I love how much you guys hate that I do that though. Can I jump on that wag? Huh?
It doesn't bother me.
I think it's because I actually like Deion so much. I just like Deion Sanders. I don't really care about CU football, but I do like what Prime's about.
Naomi comments, where do you think all our chocolate covered crickets come from? It's all the losses.
You don't win this fight, you become a delicate treat for some poor child that thinks he's actually getting something good.
Yeah. The thing died in a cricket.
How hungry do you have to be to eat crickets? You know what I'm saying?
They sell them here in grocery stores and gas stations all throughout the South. The crickets in the box. Yeah, like I'll get them when I see them, and I'll feed them to the kids. You know, trick them. You know,
that's fucked up. I guess it's no different than me having my kids eat Rocky Mountain oysters.
Yeah.
They ate them so much that, like, I wouldn't say it all the time, but like I would get them because I like them. I ain't gonna lie. But my kids
like
eat
balls
them.
in your mouth.
My kids have no problem eating them because they're delicious.
They're going to eventually replace meat with just bugs. That's my conspiracy theory.
Have you ever seen Snowpiercer? The movie, not the series.
Oh no.
So you've only seen the series, not the actual movie that the series is based off of?
I've only seen the series.
Oh, dude, the movie's fucking great. I mean, you know, it's a great movie when they make a series about it. You know what I mean? It's got the guy that plays Chris Evans, plays Captain America.
Okay.
And it's got also the great Gary Oldman. And then, why am I drawing a blank on his fucking name? He always plays a general or somebody. He's the head of the train. God dang it. Let me look it up real fast. But anyway, it's very much like the series. You know, it's class-based off the back of the train versus the front. But in the movie, they pretty much revolt from the rear to make it to the front. It's fucking a great movie. I don't want to ruin it for anybody. But at the very back of the train, they get like the food they get is pretty much like a gel like bar. And then when they get like 2 or 3 cars up, they find out what that gel shit's made out of. And since we're talking about insects, he opens the fucking lid and it's full of like crickets and all kinds of bullshit.
Snowpiercer, movie of the week.
Yeah, it's really good. And I would say another one you guys might have seen is Hell or High Water. Good movie. Jeff
Never
Bridges
seen
is in
either
that
of
one.
those. Never seen either of those.
Really?
That one's
Yeah.
good. Hella High Water. I
Yeah.
saw that one.
And then I just watched Bone Tomahawk yesterday.
You watched what?
Bone Tomahawk.
Oh, no, never heard of that one either.
That's Kurt Russell movie. It's actually got a lot
I
of.
thought you were working all the time, but you're out here watching movies all the time. What the heck?
I watched the
over
movie
there?
yesterday. Okay. Damn.
That's crazy. Interesting. Teaser for next week, gentlemen. You guys, if you're interested here, play here.
Education component, they started in with the sex ed and the consent being part of sex ed.
And it seems, some of these, the International Planned Parenthood or IPPF has a kit instructing kids under the age of 10. It's quite young here, but what are critics and proponents telling you about this plan?
Okay, so the proponents of it are saying, children are just like anybody else. They need rights too. They have the right sexual rights.
They got rights.
They have
human rights.
The right to enjoy pleasure. They have the right to even talked about have sexual fantasies. They're pushing that side of it. And they're saying also that children, should be listened to when it comes down to consent and their ability to say yes to sex, believe it or not.
That sounds like a pedophile fucking trying to justify.
That is being proposed by the WHO. And
Have you ever seen that video where a guy offers his kid $10,000 and he has it like in $100 bills in a stack? Or it was like, I want to say it was Reese's peanut butter cup, but it was like a piece of candy or something.
Yeah, he takes the candy.
And he's like 10. You know what I mean? He's not like young. He's like 10. He's like, all right, so which one do you want? Do you want this or do you want $10,000? And the kid's like, oh, I want this right here. He's like, you don't want the 10,000. He's like, no, I want this. He's like, and that's the age they're saying that the kid can decide what sex he is. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous.
It's listen for this term. Consent to pleasure.
I heard it.
Listen, once you've heard that term, you'll hear it used elsewhere. And it comes from a professor in Indiana.
Do you have a picture of this guy? Because I bet we all know what he looks like.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Like, what does this guy look like? And is
He's
he
a fucking creep for sure?
Does he register?
This is considered one of the most celebrated doctors in American history. And he's
his last name West
from Indiana. No, it was not John. But it was same time frame, 1946, 1947. And this is where that term consent to pleasure comes from. So it's interesting. Little teaser, Liam Neeson plays him in a 2004 movie. So we will that's on the docket.
I want to see a picture.
Teaser.
Not teaser.
Gotta wait.
I'm gonna go through all Liam Neeson's 2004 characters.
It's surprising he played this character, actually. Especially considering the movie Taken. But anyway, yeah. All right, gentlemen. Have a good rest of your Sunday, and we will see you next week on Fenipex.
This is the emergency broadcast system. This is not a test. Repeat, this is not a test. This is our fire the following steps. If exposed, remove the